Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chima Love, back on it again. So today we are going to be customizing a wig. The wig is already made. I'm just going to be dyeing it and then plucking it and just showing you guys how to do that. So these are the ingredients you're going to use and we're going to get started. So pay attention to the color of the wig. It is like, you know, that generic like off black color that usually comes, so it usually ends up being like brown. It's like a really dark brown. So I want the wig to be black, but I don't want it to just be, you know, that normal black when you dye your hair black. I want it to be glossy. I feel like when you just dye your hair with the black, it turns out kind of like dull. So I'm gonna be making it like a full like glossy black. So what you see me doing right now is I'm just spraying the wig with Got2b glue spray. This is gonna help the dye not seep too deep into the lace. Obviously it's still gonna seep into it, but the way I'm doing it, it's gonna make it not as much, so when I go back through to bleach it, it'll be able to come all the way out. A better version of doing this is if you use the actual Got2b gel and put it all over it. I didn't do that today just for time's sake, but I'm just going through and I am drying all that off so it just has like a sticky, you know, texture to it, and then we'll go from there. So you want to make sure you boil hot water and get a big tub, and then you're going to pour all the hot water in the tub as you see me doing here. And then these are the two colors I'm using. I'm going to link it in the description box below, but these are the colors that I'll be using. So I'm just going to take the bottle and I'm just going to pour all the liquid directly into the, you know, the box or whatever that's called. You don't have to do it any particular way. I'm just literally doing it as how you see it here, and then I'm going to be stirring them up together. So now I just got a spoon, which I should not have used a spoon. When my mom sees this, she's gonna be like, what the heck? Because I was at home when I made this video. But yeah, I used this spoon and I just went ahead and stirred it together, making sure you want to make sure all the little particles, because you know when you put this dye in there, there's gonna be some little like bigger particles and things like that. You want to make sure it all dissolves through. And then I'm just placing the hair entirely in the tub. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. Some people just, you know, they only put the hair and they don't want the lace to touch, but I'm going to be going back in and dyeing the lace back, so it doesn't matter. You can see how it already turned a little bit blue, so it's going to be blue regardless. And I'm just going to go in and dye all the way back, so I'm not worried about how that looks right now. So I'm just going in and making sure every layer of the hair is coated with, you know, the water and the contaminants so that it can completely catch the color. I don't want any parts to be missing or anything like that. Now this was extra. You don't got to do this. I don't know what I was cooking here or something. But you can just go ahead, you know, just make sure everything is coated. So I let the hair sit and then I washed the hair with this Tresemme conditioner, and this is what it ended up looking like after that. You see the lace is still a little bit blue. You can still see the tint of it, but you see how the hair is definitely more black. You'll obviously be able to see it more after I blow dry it and things like that, but it's definitely the color that I wanted, so I'm really happy about that. So now I'm just going in to re-bleach the lace. Well, I didn't bleach it the first time, so I'm just going ahead and bleaching it for the first time. And you see where I made a huge mistake here, but it's okay because we fixed it. So I got this bleach, the BW2, and I thought I got a toner in the other bucket, and I never get a toner in a bucket, so I don't even know why I thought this was what it was. But this was just lightener, but I ended up getting this lightener thinking it was a toner, and so you see me struggling to open it. And then as I'm going to put it in the box, like this is the moment I knew I messed up. Like I was going to put it in the, you know, the little bowl, and I was like, wait a minute, like why is this powder? Like what are we doing here? So that's when I stopped and I'm like, what? So I did go to like every store. Mind you, this was like in the pit of COVID time, so I could not no stores were open. I think it was around 6 o'clock when I went, so most stores were not open, most beauty supplies, so I could not get it. So I was like, what can I use that I have at home? And I had this hydrogen chloride. And girl, I just put that in there and it did the job to a T. I was actually shook. I did not think this was gonna work, but it worked. So if you want to be cheap and you don't want to go ahead and get that, you know, the toner, definitely go ahead and use this hydrochloric or this whatever this is called, hydrogen peroxide, and it does the job, and fantastically, might I say. Like, it really worked, and I did not think it was gonna work at all, and it did the job. It even got the consistency that I needed, so I was really happy about that. So, you know, you just want to pour the contents in and then add your desired amount of hydrogen peroxide or toner. I also went ahead and added in a little bit of the lightener just to lift the blue color out a little bit more. And that's what it ended up looking like, which is what you want it. You don't want it to be too thick, but you also don't want it to be too liquidy to where it's going to seep through the hair. So now I put a foil wrap underneath. This is actually like the foil hair wrap, but you can just use regular foil if you don't have foil hair wrap. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going through and I'm laying that all over the lace. You don't have to put it at the very ends. I just did that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I'm coating it on all the areas that the lace is blue, specifically focusing on the parts where you'll be able to see on my hair. And you want to make sure you also get the hairline, you know, the lace that's going to be on your actual hairline and your head, so that that's not blue either. So when I'm done putting it all on, that's what it's gonna end up looking like. Again, you don't have to put it all the way down like I did, but I just did that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take another foil piece and I'm gonna put it on top. This just helps speed up the process, and as you can see, bang bow, it did the job. Like, I was really excited about that because I was not expecting that at all. Hydrogen peroxide, y'all, this does it. I mean, maybe that's a thing, people know this already, but I had no idea that that was a thing. So it took out all the color. You can see the color is beautiful, it's glossy, it's black, it's exactly what I wanted it to be, and there's no blue on that lace, honey. So we did what we needed to do. So now I'm just going through and I'm blow drying the hair. You can see that glossy black color. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through, and you can kind of see the bluish tint to it too, which is cool. So I'm just going through and blow drying all the hair. You can also let it sit overnight and just air dry, but for the time purposes that I had, I just went ahead and, you know, got everything done in this one sitting. So now I'm going through and I'm just gonna put my T-pins in the lace, you know, further down to where it won't mess up the part that's gonna be on my head. And I'm just sticking it down for security, so when I go through and pluck the wig, that it's not in the way. And now I'm just going through and I'm brushing all the hair back because I'm gonna start the plucking process. So I always pluck the hair when the hairline is wet. It just helps me, you know, be able to see exactly where I want the hairs to be plucked off. And I just think it's easier this way, so I just go ahead and do it like this. Y'all, take a second to come through for this color. It looks exactly how I want it to look. But I am going to go through and pluck the hair. You want to make sure you are plucking on the side that it's not, you know, the really sharp side. You want to pluck on the side opposite of that, or the shorter side, because if you pluck on the really, you know, sharp side, you're gonna pull way more hair out than you want, and you might end up even putting a hole through your lace, and you don't want that. So I'm just going through and I'm plucking the hairline as so. There's really no art to this. I just go back and forth. I pull the hair back in the places that I want and I just pluck it through. And then, so here's a little video of me speeding it up. But yeah, you see how I'm just pulling the hair back. You want it to look as natural as a hairline as you can. For frontal wigs, you want them to just look natural and just look exactly how you want them to look. So you want to make sure you are just taking your time with this. This is obviously sped up for purposes of the video, but I did take my time with this. It definitely took me a little bit to do, so make sure you're just taking your time. So here I went on to the other side. This is not you see how it just looks kind of bulky. I want it to look, you know, very natural in the hairline, like how my actual hairline looks. So I'm just pulling out my baby hairs, and then I'm gonna go through and pluck the hair that's behind my baby hairs. So again, you want to make sure you are plucking on the side that is not the sharpest, and you just want to pull the hair back in the areas. It makes it easy just to see exactly what you're doing, and you're just going to pluck all the way through. And then you also, if you pay attention, I'm not plucking too hard around where my middle part is going to be. The reason I do this is because you don't want, you know, where your part is to get really scarce and look really, you know, empty. And if you pluck it too much, you know, that part of your hair is already going to be falling out from you. You know, you're always parting your hair in that one direction, so you want to make sure you don't pluck too much over there so it doesn't look like there's holes or anything like that. So, and I continually spray the water on the hairline as I pluck. Anytime the hair gets dry, I go back and spray it again. It just makes the process of plucking easier. And you see how it looks like more of a hairline now instead of before. It just looked kind of bulky. It kind of looked just very wiggy. And you don't want your wig to look wiggy. Even though it's a wig, you want it to look natural, like it's growing out your scalp. So you see I'm plucking near the part where my middle part is, but I'm not completely plucking on the part. And that is basically what the wig ended up looking like. I was really satisfied, really happy, and here is the outcome. See how it's a very lustrous, beautiful blue black. It's not just, you know, that dense black that comes out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.